Now, children might not be at school at the moment, as I well know, with two of them at home. But parents found out yesterday, including me, what primary school their child has been allocated for later on this year. But what happens if you didn't get the email or you're not happy with your choice? Well, Julie Iles is head of all age learning at Surrey County Council and joins us now. Morning, Julie.
Good morning, Leslie. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, and pleased and relieved because my daughter did get my first choice, which I'm so
I was going
pleased.
to ask about that, so I'm very pleased to hear it. And the majority of parents have got one of the schools of their preferences.
Okay, but if somebody perhaps isn't happy with their choice, what are their options? What can they do?
Well, we're keeping the show on the road, so I want to start by saying a big thank you to all of the staff and the officers in the school admissions team who have been working from home at their dining room tables, putting in 10, 13-hour days to make sure that we did meet the admissions deadline. So big thank you to that. That effort will continue. We would say to parents, please accept the offers that you've been made. The deadline for that is the 30th of April.
Oh, that's not long. I haven't done that, actually. Okay, so I need to do that immediately. Thank you.
Accept the offer because there's no guarantee that if you don't accept what you've been given, that it will still be available if you change your mind later. Because people do, Leslie, they maybe move out of the area, they perhaps elect for a private school, so things do change. And the admissions team will maintain contact with parents. So as children go up the waiting list, the parents will be advised. But if people are not happy, there's an appeal form available on the website. That needs to be returned by the middle of May. And we will continue to hear the appeals processes by July the 17th. So we want certainty before we finish the term. Even if schools aren't there, we want that certainty.
Yeah. So you're carrying on as as normal to within an abnormal framework.
Business as usual in as much as we possibly can be. We might not be doing those appeal panels in person. We're waiting for some government legislation around that, but it doesn't mean we can't do them remotely or by conference call. So we do want to get things sorted. The appeal criteria are the responsibility of the governing body of the schools. So if parents want to appeal it, please check the websites of the schools, look at the grounds for appeal and make sure you're adhering to these deadlines, as we will be trying our best to do as well.
Yeah, and I think we all appreciate it, because I've got to be honest, Julie, I didn't get the email yesterday, and it was only when the parents, the WhatsApp group started going off saying, oh, did you get your school? And then I panicked thinking, did I do my application? Have I forgotten to do this?
Because it's a lengthy process, isn't it, Leslie? It takes a long time from start to finish.
A long time ago that we did it. But I think it is worth pointing out that actually, if you are listening, you think, oh, hang on, I didn't get my email, because I imagine things are a lot slower now than they ordinarily would be. But you can go online, can't you, to check what school place you got?
Absolutely. And people should have received those emails. It's always worth checking the junk folder as well, because if you're sending out a mass email, then it can get stuck in those filters. And other people who applied by paper will have had a letter sent out by first class post yesterday.
Right, okay, so I should be getting that today.
Only
the next
if you applied by paper. You won't get a letter if you applied online. We're keeping that as an online process in the current circumstances.
Right, and are you expecting the school year to start in September still?
Oh, your guess is as good as mine, Leslie. I think most parents who've got children at home want to see them back at school by September, as you've already said. And my daughter is a teacher, so I haven't got any more of an inside track than anybody else has. But I think people will be struggling if we're in lockdown for longer than that.
Yes, yeah, and that was that was certainly the vibe from the Mums WhatsApp group that I'm in at the moment anyway. But what about your personal feeling? When do you think the government should reopen schools?
I'm not a qualified scientist, so I'm not looking at all the data modelling that they are. It's easy to say that children aren't as affected by this virus as other people are, and perhaps the school should have limited opening. But then how do you do that, Leslie, with keeping social distances and keeping our teachers safe? Because they are potentially affected by the virus, and we've got a duty of care, haven't we?
Yeah, and there are so many teachers who are still working. I know my elder daughter's school, they've got a rota of teachers who are still working to teach the children of key workers.
And I'm delighted that the schools they really have stepped up to that, Leslie. They're keeping our key workers' children at schools, they're keeping our vulnerable children at schools, and they're doing a fabulous job of that.
Yeah, and that is true, actually. That is a point, and it's something that we do often overlook. The children are vulnerable children as well. It's so important, isn't it, that there's something there for them?
That there's something there for them, and particularly the ones who receive free school meals, we're still able to provide that service so that we know they are being fed at least once a day. And the schools have made their own arrangements to ensure that that is available through the Easter holidays as well. I can't say a big enough thank you, not just to the teachers, but also to the catering staff, the caretakers, the teaching assistants, everybody who keeps those school settings open for us. They've been magnificent.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for your time this morning. Really good talking to you.
And you, Leslie, and well done on getting the place you wanted.
Yeah, well, I didn't do much. I just filled in an online form. And then, to be honest, I questioned whether I'd done that right.
97% of parents have got their preference, so that's a really good stat. And it's positive for the start of the next school year, we hope.
Excellent. Thank you. Julie Iles, Head of All Age Learning at Surrey County Council.